I wanted to start off this session. I'll keep it short because I really want to hear from yourselves and maybe make it more interactive. Um, as a medical doctor, you first have to diagnose the patient. Before you can do any treatment, you can have the best treatment in the world. You can have the cure for cancer, but if the patient has a different disease, it's not going to get any better. So the first thing you need to do before you can find the answer is find out what is the problem. And if I ask what is the problem of the Muslim community, then I'm going to get 1,000 answers. I do this exercise where I go to universities and to the Islamic Society. They have huge whiteboards. And I say, right, tell me the problems of the Muslim community. So someone will say, well, we've got Islamophobia. I was like, yes, but you have to talk to me about Islamophobia. There's different types. There's structural Islamophobia. There's racism in the street. There's violent Islamophobia. There's so many different types. There's discrimination at the job level. So write those down. Okay, what else? Well, we've got Gaza. It's a huge problem. I said, of course, Gaza. But what about Sudan? What about Rohingya? What about this? And then you start naming country after country. They say, well, what other problems do we have? We've got poverty. Well, yes, we've got poverty, but you have to go into it. Don't just say poverty is just a word. What kind of poverty do we have? We've got people who are working and they're poor. They can't afford they just literally work to eat. That's it, to survive. They can't afford education. They can't afford anything, no progress. You got poverty where people are literally can't survive they don't have food and they don't have water. They have nothing. Then you got entire countries that are literally trapped in a cycle of poverty because they've had an IMF loan and the whole country is just giving their entire GDP towards paying the interest towards the loan that they had. That's also destroying them, and so on and so forth. By the time we're finished, the whole whiteboard is covered. Hundreds of problems. There is literally no area you can tell me that we don't have a problem in. Our mosques, governance, safeguarding, fit for purpose, access for women, young people. Our madrasas, curriculum, a lack of inspiration, lack of progression. They don't prepare you for the real world. Our cities, anything that you can think of. I'll give you one example. This is because I like talking in stories because you'll remember the story. Tokyo in Japan sits on an earthquake zone. So they have an early warning system for their earthquakes. They have an early warning system which can detect the earthquake 45 seconds before it hits. 45 seconds before it hits, it sends alarm is sent off. And everyone gets a text message, an alarm goes off on their phone. 45 seconds is nothing. 45 seconds is nothing, but it's just enough time to those who are able-bodied to get out into this open. It's just enough time to call your loved ones. It's just enough time to turn off the gas, electricity, so there's no fire, there's no flooding. It's just enough time to do the basics. But in Turkey, they had a huge earthquake just 2 years ago, right? Can anyone tell me how many seconds does the Turkish early warning system have? So Japan, Tokyo is 45 seconds. How much is the Turkish one? Let's make it slightly interactive. So anyone shout a number. How many seconds before the earthquake do they find out that they're having an earthquake?
After the earthquake occurs?
No. Turkey has an early warning system. They have 2 seconds.
Okay.
2 seconds. If you get a warning on your phone 2 seconds, it's not even enough time to phone your own family. Not even enough time to read the message before the earthquake hits. Now let me tell you the real story. Turkey is the only Muslim country in the world that has an early warning system. Jakarta, Islamabad, Mumbai, Tehran, Amman, Cairo, Istanbul, whole of the Muslim world are built on earthquake zones. And we don't have even one. There's only one country in the Middle East that teaches their school children what to do in an earthquake. They do earthquake drills. Only one country. Does anyone know which country that is? The whole of the Middle East, there's only one country that teaches them. Israel.
UAE? Oh,
No,
right,
Israel.
right. Yeah, of course.
Why would you do it? Because we're Muslim. We're number one in dying. That's all. Right? We're number one in. And what did our Prophet ﷺ say? They remember this. There's a hadith of the Prophet ﷺ. You know, we hear a lot of hadith. We don't hear these hadiths, which is a tragedy. There's a hadith of the Prophet ﷺ. Please, if you remember nothing else from this talk, remember this hadith. There is no wisdom equal to good planning. There is no wisdom equal to good planning. And this is the ummah of the Prophet ﷺ, who we do no planning whatsoever. So what am I trying to say here? I'm saying that what is the diagnosis? What's the disease that has befallen this ummah? Because we're the same people, we have the same religion, we have the same Qur'an, we have the same everything. To the people who were building the Taj Mahal, the Alhambra, calculating the circumference of the earth, developing algorithm, what's the difference between us and them? It's one difference. There's one disease. If you ask me as a medical doctor, everything that I talked about is a symptom. A symptom of a disease means that you have a fever, you've got pain. When someone comes to me and they say, I've got tiredness, I say, that's not a disease, it's a symptom. I need to find out why you have tiredness. Doctor, I'm bleeding. Yeah, that's a symptom, but why are you bleeding? I've got pain. Why do you have that pain? I need to go to that level, right? The disease, the cancer affecting the Muslim world is a lack of unity. We are not united. And it's the sunnah of Allah that He will always give victory and success to those who are united, whether they are good or bad. Those who are against us are united. They work together. They have a very clear vision. They have a very coherent structure, and they work very hard, and they have clear leadership. We have none of that. Who is the leader of the Muslims of India? Allah alam. I mean, some people like this guy, some people like that guy, some people like this person, but we don't have a leader. Who is the leader of the Muslims of America or the Muslims of the UK? We don't have one. We are like the blind walking on a long journey and hoping that we get to a destination when we have no one to guide us and we have no destination. It's madness, pure, utter madness. When you have a leader and you have a vision, doesn't matter how long the journey, doesn't matter how difficult, you will find a way. Eventually, success must come to you, inshallah. Right? Like when Gandhi and Jinnah stood up against the British Empire. Are you kidding me? The British Empire, the largest empire the world has ever seen. 1/4 of the world's population is under this empire. And you think you're going to stand up with your, with your lawyer's clothes or your loincloth and you're going to do something? You have a leader and you have leaders and you have a vision. We have none of that. This is the cancer. You have no unity. We need to have unity in this ummah. And if we say that, and this applies to everything, right? This applies to everything. I'll give you an example. Right now, there are parts of the Muslim world, like Gaza, like Sudan, which are dying of starvation, right? And right next to them, there are parts of the Muslim world that are dying of overeating. 70% of the Gulf Arabs are clinically obese. Pakistan has the highest number of diabetics in the world, proportionally. 1 in 5 Pakistani adults are addicted to hard drugs. 1 in 5. Right? There's this the statistics. Not 1 in 5. 1 in 20. 5%. 1 in 20 are addicted to hard drugs. So what the point I'm making is that the number of problems, if you try to solve any of the problems, I challenge you, try to solve the problem of education. What you're going to find? The lack of funding, the lack of inspirational role models, or the lack of the madrasa system, whatever, anything, they will stop you. You try to solve the health of the Muslim community, the restaurants, the poverty, it will stop you. Whatever you try to do, there will be something else that will try to stop you. Only if you go for the disease can you cure all the symptoms at one go. Just like no matter how much painkillers I give to someone for a heart attack, I'm afraid all the painkillers in the world are going to do nothing. He's still going to die. All I'm making sure is I'm trying to get rid of his pain, but I'm not dealing with the heart attack. So this is the heart attack affecting us. This is our cancer. This is our heart attack. This is our stroke. This is everything to us. And I urge you, whatever you do, if you work on education, work on education. If you're working on sports, work on sports. If you're working on mosque, work on mosque. But the overall goal should be unity. And if you do that, everything, the way you do it, how you do it, why you do it, changes. So I will give you an example. We have this everywhere. In every single town, every city, there is a gold standard mosque. Right? A mosque, when you go to, they've got everything. They've got a great young committee, and people are going, and they've got good relationship with the government and the local authorities, and they've got facilities, and they've got funding, they've got everything. And in the majority of the mosques on the ground. Do you think when the riots come, do you think when they come, do you think they're going to be like, this mosque has got great governance structure, I'm going to leave that one alone? This mosque, no, I won't touch this mosque. Why? This mosque is clean. I'm not going to say, no, they're going to come for all of you. When they come for you, they come for all of us. Because that mosque, it didn't have that mindset. It's got mindset, let me fix my mosque. And everyone else, they're on their own. That individual, I'm a doctor, I'm studying, I'm working, I worked hard, I got my house, I got my car. The rest of the community they're on their own. You're still Muslim, you will still fall with the rest of us. Remember, there's a story that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent, there was a town that was just engrossed in evil, so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent the angel to the town, and he said, lift it up, turn it upside down, and smash it into the ground, destroy it. And the angel came back and said, oh Allah, there is a man in that town who prays all day and all night. He is a abid and a zahid, and he does everything. You told me to destroy the whole town. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, take the town up, turn it upside down, and smash it onto his head. Onto his head. Why? Because this is not a selfish religion. Islam is a team sport, not an individual pursuit. We either work as part of a community or we fail as a community. So that's my main message, that we need that vision of unity, inshallah. And if you can drive that vision home, then you are going to do a great job, because the more people who are driving that vision home, who live by that vision, the more likely we are, inshallah, that things will change, that the mindset will change, the behavior will change, the attitudes will change. That when we build something for our mosque, we are immediately thinking, what about the other mosques? When we progress ourselves, we're immediately thinking, what about others? When we get something good in our community, we immediately think, how can I expand this so that every community can benefit? We have that expansive globalist mindset. When we have that, then we will go from being an ummah in name to ummah in practice. Then we will go from just proudly proclaiming that we are 2 billion people. 2 billion people can't get a glass of water into Gaza. 2 billion people whose name is trash, and we can't produce one car between us. We should be so ashamed. Not one drug, one car, nothing. Then we'll go from 2 billion being proud of our quantity to being proud of our quality, inshallah. Now I'll go to the ending of what I was going to say, because I'd like to have a bit of discussion, as question and answer. Is that okay? Where do you fit in? Because you're saying, okay, this is fine. This is what can I do? I was once in the haram in Mecca with my family. My dad called me to the to the edge. We were on the roof. You're coming to the edge, and he said, "What can you see?" So we looked over. I looked over, and I said, "I can see Kaaba. I can see people. Some people doing tawaf. I can see some people going home. I can see some people doing sa'i. I can see some people, talking. I can see some people praying. Everyone, it's just random. Everyone's doing random things." He's like, "Yeah, it looks chaotic, doesn't it?" I was like, "Yeah, it does." Then he said, "Now what? Wait." The iqama went, and he said quickly, "What do you see?"
मम्मा ने क्यों चला दिया बंद करके आओ
And I said, "I see row upon row within a second. Row upon row, everyone is standing, feet to feet. Perfect lines everywhere within a second." And he goes, "Exactly." He goes, "This is the ummah today. We are randomly just going all over the place in chaos. All we need are people to call the iqamah for unity. And if you call the iqamah for unity, then our ummah will line up person by person, row by row, city by city, country by country. And when we do that, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will send us an imam to lead us. Your job, my brothers and sisters, our job is to call the iqamah for unity. We need to say we must work together and then start the ball rolling. Something small. Even if all the people in your area work together to say, let's produce a WhatsApp, or let's do one charity drive together, or let's do one awareness event together. But it has to be together. We cannot have it just the Pakistanis, or just the Indians, or just the ladies, or just the men, or just the rich people, or just these people from this mosque. We have to do something together, because once we do one or two things together, people, they like it, they love it. It's our fitrah. We want to be together. And they said, well, what else can we do together? What's the next thing? And the next thing. And then you start doing small things together, then we start doing big things together. Then we start thinking together. Then that doesn't mean that we all think the same. It doesn't mean we all act the same. But once we start, then we can grow it from there, inshallah. Anyway, I think I've talked a lot. I'm going to pause here for a second, inshallah, and ask if anyone has any questions.